Hey guys! Happy New Year if I haven't wished you Happy New Year already. Well, if you haven't seen a video where I mentioned that. But, so, BusanKevin here in Japan, walk along on a holiday evening, having a beverage. Having myself a chu-hai, which is kind of like a shochu cooler thing. Yeah, so here's the deal. With thinking a lot about, recently been, when I was in Canada for the winter vacation, I picked up a few copies of some running magazines. I picked up Canadian Running, which I really like, and Runner's World. And I've been out, the first 2 days of 2014, I've been out for a couple of runs, and today I started doing some, what they call iron yoga, which is kind of like a quasi-yoga meets strength training thing. If you go to runnersworld.com/iron yoga, there's some stuff there, doing some like kind of core strength training stuff. It's part of the plan. Just started, just gonna be doing short runs every day, like 5K. You know, there's someone walking their dog by a scooter. Yeah, so, but you know, so fitness, getting fit again, and I was thinking about the two moments in my life when I've been the most fit. And they're both in my adult years, because I was never an athlete when I was young. As a child, as a student, high school, university, not at all. University, high school age, not an athlete at all. I did boxing for a few months, that was it. University, I was into like playing in bands, indie rock bands, and like grunge bands and punk bands, and I was doing acting, drama, that kind of thing. Yeah, so I moved to South Korea when I was 26 years old. 25, 26. 25, 26. The year 25 to 26, that year. Turned 26 in Korea, I believe. Maybe I turned 27? Yeah, well, I turned... okay. I'm getting lost on myself. But yeah, so my first year in South Korea, working as an English teacher, I was working at a kindergarten hagwon, so a kindergarten language school. Teach kindergarten in the morning, have a break, lunchtime, early afternoon. Then in the afternoon, early evening, teach elementary school kids. One of my coworkers, a Canadian teacher, her name was Wendy, she came into the staff room one day and she had a flyer for a Taekwondo dojang at school. It was all in Korean. At the very bottom, it said, in English, "Foreigners welcome." 2 words, "Foreigners welcome." So we're like, okay, maybe these guys, you know, they can take people who don't speak Korean. And she asked me, would you be interested in doing Taekwondo? I said, sure. So we found that the school was basically pretty much just across the road from our school where we were teaching. The dojang, or the Taekwondo studio, was just across the street and about a block down. We finished work every day at 7:30, and their classes were at 8 o'clock, 8 to 9, 5 days a week. That's the way that's the way they roll in Korea with Taekwondo. If you're gonna study Taekwondo, you got to do it 5 days a week. I think the master said the minimum was 4 days a week. If you couldn't make it 4 days a week, he didn't want you. So we started going to the class, and over the course of the year, I got quite fit. You know, I go 5 days a week and train for an hour. I'm naturally a very unflexible person, and obviously, if you're doing something like Taekwondo, you got to be very flexible. So I would get up in the morning in my apartment. I'd spend 30 minutes doing flexibility training in the morning. Then I'd go to the dojang, and we'd start off every class with doing about 20 minutes of flexibility training, and then we'd do some like fight training. And I loved it. And we you know, he had been a professional bodyguard. My master, Ibong Jae was his name, still is. And he'd been a professional bodyguard before he opened up a Taekwondo school. He opened up a Taekwondo school just because the lifestyle of being a professional bodyguard was so not conducive to being a family man. He had just had a child, and he was a bodyguard of one of the VPs of Samsung. So he's traveling all around the world, and wearing a suit, being very serious with an earpiece. So he wanted to be around more for his child growing up, so he opened up a Taekwondo school. So he taught us a lot of cool stuff. He liked the fact that I had a little bit of boxing skills, and he worked with me on that. So I do a lot of boxing training and self-defense training, plus the Taekwondo. And yeah, it was great. I loved it. I really did. And I got really fast with my hands, even though Taekwondo is an Olympic sport and you don't use your hands in Taekwondo proper. But we did a lot of stuff where I did a lot of stuff like using my hands, my elbows, knees, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, he was teaching us all kinds of great skills. We weren't like doing the physical conditioning that you would do to do like the kickboxing, but he was teaching us like a lot of kickboxing skills. And it was great. And I was damn fit. But here's the irony, the ironic twist. Although I was damn fit, and probably in a way the fittest I've ever been, almost, I was drinking like a fish. And I'm saying that as I'm having a drink now, but I don't drink like a fish. I'm just out having a drink right now. I was going out to the bars 5, 6, 7 nights a week. I was drinking. When I go, I could easily drink like 3, 4 pitchers of beer by myself, no problem. And on top of that, I was smoking about 2 packs of cigarettes a day. And my preferred brand in Korea were Dunhill Lights. So I was smoking about 40 Dunhill Lights a day. I weighed about 25 pounds less than I am now. I was light and fast, but at the same time my lungs were just rotting, as was my liver. So there you go. But I was in a way very fit, very strong, very fast. My punches, my kicks, I could kick high above my head. I could do a spinning wheel kick. I could do back kicks, roundhouse kicks, jumping, spinning kicks, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I was like a chain smoker. I mean, I never ran. I didn't do any kind of, yeah, probably I couldn't run to the end of the room. Now let's step ahead a few years. 35 going on 36, living in Japan. And it was the year of 2011, of the horrible earthquake and tsunami that hit eastern Japan. That year, again, we zoom ahead almost 10 years from that time in Korea, I was the fittest I've ever been in a very different way. I was, wow, well, I wasn't doing any kind of martial arts or fight training, but that year I was running a hell of a lot. I ran 2 full marathons in the fall. I ran the Kobe Marathon and the Osaka Marathon. I ran a 60-kilometer charity run in June, late June of that year. So I remember I ran 60 kilometers in 30-plus heat. Yeah, and I was just running a lot. I was running, you know, on average, I went from 60 to 80 kilometers a week. I was very fit. Yeah, so now at that point I wasn't smoking anymore. I quit smoking when I was 29 years old. So, and still drinking, but nothing like that. I mean, at that point I had a child, a young child, well, baby. So I wasn't going out to bars anymore. Honestly, kind of still the same way. I only go to bars drinking literally maybe 4 or 5 times a year, and they tend to be like work functions, like a year-end party or something like that. I like to drink beer at home while I'm relaxing, but I don't have so many. Well, the last year I have, so I got a bit of a spare tire I'm trying to lose. But yeah, long story short, well, long story not short, this is just a rambling. I'm not rambling, guys. I'm a rambling man. There's been 2 kind of periods in my life, two years per se, because I only did Taekwondo for 1 year, that first year in Korea. And then after that, I moved to a different job position. And then because of the geography and the hours of my work, I couldn't train with that master anymore. And then I couldn't find other schools that had similar hours. And also I couldn't find schools, honestly, that were willing to train an English-speaking foreigner. Because I couldn't speak Korean at all. And the thing is that master I had that first year, he spoke English very well because he had lived in America, and actually he had been a teacher at a Taekwondo studio in Los Angeles for quite a long time. Yeah, so there you go. 26 years old. I was extremely fit, training in martial arts, but I was a heavy drinker and a heavy smoker. Almost 10 years later, I was very fit in a very different way. I was running all the time. didn't smoke at all, no more smoking, and a social, recreational drinker. Well, here we are, 2014, getting fit again. You know, laying off the beer for a while, but drinking some non-beer-like things from time to time. So still a recreational drinker, absolutely not a smoker. And yeah, it's a good year to get fit, a good year to keep running and see what happens with the running. And you know, I'm gonna plan on doing some boxing training and stuff like that to actually do something for my upper body. And you know, this kind of iron yoga stuff, let's see where that goes. And it's 2014, folks. Hope you're all doing well, and thanks for watching the BusanKevin ramblings. Okay, see you later.